Hello and welcome. In this week's video, we're going to continue taking a closer look at the Rode Streamer X. More specifically, we're going to take a look at all of the software settings that you can change and modify using Rode Central when it's connected to this device. My name is Cree, and on this channel I talk about tech with context. And if you've been following this journey along with me, I have done an overview video about the Rode Streamer X. Last week I went over all of the physical components that are actually on the device, including all the ports and settings that you can change on the physical device. If you haven't taken a look at those videos yet, you can do so. I'll link them down below in the description. But today we're going to open up Rode Central, and when you connect Rode Central to the Streamer X, there are even more settings that you can change, a bunch of modifications that you can make, and that's what we're going to look at today. So a couple things real quick before we look at the software. First of all, I am recording, I'm connected directly to the Rode Streamer X with my Rode Wireless Go 2, so that's pretty nice. I don't have to use a receiver. I'm just using this transmitter, and I have paired it with the device. Also, when it comes to Rode Central and the Rode Streamer X, one thing that I already love about the device is that once you make any setting changes in Rode Central, it automatically saves to the Streamer X. So what that means is if you turn the Streamer X off and you turn it back on, the last settings are going to be set in your device. Now, this is a big change from some of the competition because once you turn that device off, you have to restart it and then reload your settings every single time you turn the device on. So big kudos to Rode for making this change, and probably one of my favorite little tidbits about this device that I really enjoy. So with all of that said, let's hop into Rode Central and take a look at these settings. As you can see, I am running firmware version 1.1.5 as of this recording, and this could very much change. I've already seen Rode send out a couple of updates since I've had this device, so I would expect to see more. To connect to the Streamer X, you just click right here, and what you're going to do is you can see the interface is so simple and easy to use. Now, if you've never used an audio or video interface like this, Rode makes it real easy because right here at the bottom, they're going to give you some automatic settings. So if you're going to be streaming, you can just click this button and those settings are going to update for you. If you're doing a presentation, same thing, a video call, gaming, and so on and so forth. Now, when you click these buttons over here, and I'm not going to do this because it does update some of the settings and it impacts the recording of this video, but I'll walk you through the custom settings and you'll get an idea of how all of this works when we get to that place. But first step, I would just invite you just to click through here and just kind of experiment with what Rode already has preloaded on this device for you. Over here on the right-hand side, this little chart is going to change anytime you press one of these buttons. And now, if you do want to hop right into custom settings, what you can do is you can either click this custom button down here on the right-hand side, or you can just run through these settings up top. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll hop into audio first. This is just letting you know what you can or cannot control while you're using the device. I don't have a microphone plugged into the XLR input, so it's not letting me change those settings. Makes sense. Same with if I were using a headset. That would mainly be something I would use if I were gaming, or if I was using a headset that had a microphone attached, then I would be able to control everything here. But I am wirelessly connected, so that's why it's showing me just this audio option. And what I can do is I can turn my volume up and down. You can probably hear my voice turning up and down right now. Also over here, I can change the volume on my headphones. What you can do is you can actually click this unlink button right here, and then you can control them independently if you'd like. And that's the same for all of these different components and settings. The other thing that you can do is you can click on this wheel down below if you do want to take it a little step further and potentially modify your audio a little bit more. Let's hop in here. What I can do is right here in Rode Central, I can change my dB levels, and also I can even do some more advanced processing on my audio if I choose to do that. This is much more advanced. Look, the Rode makes it so easy that you really can just plug it in and start recording right away. And that's something that's great about this device. And also, this is going to give you your battery level on your wireless microphone. I'm just now noticing that, and that's super helpful. If I'm not sure how much battery I have left on my microphone, on my transmitter, it's going to show me right here because the transmitter does not have a battery indicator on it. So this is very helpful. You can unpair the wireless microphone from here. And, you know, I mean, these are pretty advanced settings, and it's nice that they give this option to you. All right, now for the rest of these settings, same thing right here. This is the icon that Rode uses for its pads. And what I like to do is unlink this one, and I want my audio to always be a little louder than my pad volume. And we're going to get into the pads in case you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about. We'll get into that in a minute, but you can change the pad level so it's a little lower. I'm just going to keep all of my audio the same. Hopping over to HDMI, keep in mind that this is going to give you a gain or volume level that you can control, and also your headphone monitoring volume as well. Now, this is important because if you have an onboard mic on your camera, you can send that audio through along with the mic input. So if you are using the XLR input or the headphone input, or in my case, the wireless input, you can send audio in through both of those inputs, because HDMI will send audio and video. So you can control that level here. I don't want that audio to come through on my camera right now, so I have this all set down here to 0. And then also what you can do is you can send this signal out through USB-C. You can send that out to 2 separate computers. So example, if I am not wanting the audio, or if I need to control that audio volume that's being sent to a computer, like if I'm live streaming through a computer or through a second computer, then I definitely want that audio to run through. And then same with the headphone inputs. If you are monitoring from those computers, then you can monitor those, or you can change those volume levels in here. Now, I realize for some of you, this may be the first time you're looking at a device like this, but for those of you who are a little more seasoned, it is exciting to be able to control this granularly in such a small device, which is another reason why I like the Streamer X so much. So let's hop back over here. We've gone through the audio setup. You can see how granular you can get with those settings. And now right here, let's go to the device configuration. Right now, the only setting that they have in here is that you can control the brightness of the pads on the device. So this is the beginning. This is, you know, if I don't have that pad turned on, this is the brightness that the button will be. And then if I turn this all the way up, then once it's engaged, or if I have one of those pads turned on, it's going to be a brighter color. So I like to have the just the regular pad button at a lower brightness. And then once it's turned on, it's a little brighter, and I can easily see what's turned on my device. All right, going back to the main dashboard, let's hop into what I think is one of the most exciting things that you can do on the Streamer X is that you can customize the smart pads on this device. Now keep in mind, I mentioned this before, that once you change the settings in Rode Central, it's going to automatically save those settings to the Streamer X. So you're going to see prompts in here. It's just going to let you know, hey, by the way, we're about to change some settings. Are you okay with that? And we're going to move forward. Right now, it's just going to place us into transfer mode. And what that means is that I'm going to connect Rode Central to the Streamer X, but I'm also going to be able to make changes to those pad settings. And once you hop in here, let's just take a look very quickly. Sound is the pad sound. You can see that here. This is special effects. This is mixer, and then this is MIDI. Obviously, we're going to run through each of these individually, but really what you want to do is over here on the right-hand side, these are the pads that are on the Streamer X. What's really great is that you can customize up to 8 buttons. So if you look at the Streamer X, you have 4 pad options at a time, and then you can just click on the arrows down at the bottom, and that will advance you to the next set of buttons. So you do have a total of 8 pads that you can customize here. So I actually recommend that you start over here with the pads. So this is the first set of pads, that's the 4. And then if you click down here at the bottom, you're going to move over to the second set of pads. And the reason why you should look over here first is because you want to think of applying any type of setting to each pad individually. So first I'm going to click the first pad. And right now it's set to a sound, but what if I want to set it to a special effect? Then I'm going to come up here and set it to a special effect. What if I want to, this is that prompt I was telling you, what if I want to apply some sort of a mixer setting? MIDI is more advanced. It's if you want to connect to third-party software like Ecamm Live or OBS or something like that, then you can go right into your MIDI section. So you can also change the settings there. So start with the pad first, and then figure out exactly what you want to apply to that tab or to that pad, and then come up here to the top and update those settings from there. So this is really great. You can essentially set anything you want to any one of these pads. Now that you understand how the pads work, let's go ahead and run through each of the effects and take a look at the options that are available. For sound, if you want to upload a custom sound and apply it to a pad, you'll click on the pad that you want to update first, and then you'll come up here and you'll click sound, and you can either choose a file that's already uploaded, or you can upload a file. And this is something that I have done. I have a pad that's specifically set to a type of music. So when I'm online with my clients, I'm in a meeting, I can just turn some music on of my choosing, and I can change that at any time, and it just makes it fun. So if I would like to, have a more upbeat kind of a feeling to the meeting or the stream or whatever I'm doing, I can upload that music beforehand and have it assigned to a pad. So that's what the sound effect will give you. You can also make it so that when you click on the pad or touch the pad, it can either be a toggle, and that means it's turned on or turned off, or you can loop it. So let's say you have a song that's only a minute long, you can loop it so that after the minute's up, it'll just automatically go to the beginning of the song, or it could continue to whatever you want next. So that's what the sound portion of the settings will give you for each of the pads. Right here is the effects setting. So this is when you can apply different types of effects to the pads, like reverb, echo, megaphone. You can make the voice sound like a robot or a disguise, or you can change the pitch of the voice. You can make it momentary or latching, which is pretty cool, but this is how you add effects to the different buttons. So I think I have one of the pads. I can change the pitch of my voice if I want to be silly or if I'm in a silly mood. Can make it a robot voice. So that's a lot of fun. And again, you click the pad first and then come on up to effects. So let's move over to the mixer. These are the prompts that I have mentioned before. This is just saying, hey, are you sure you want to update these settings? And we're going to go ahead and say yes and take a look at what we have available in the mixer. So this one has a sensor button, so if you need to beep someone out, you can do that, do a beep tone. You can also do custom noises if you'd like. If you'd like to replace any of the presets in here, you can do that. You can fade that sound in and out if you like. And then ducking means that it's going to, well, let's just click on here. It's going to lower the level of the other channels. So if you have music playing and you're going to press this pad as well, it'll lower the volume on all the other pads, and this one would be the prominent sound that comes through the audio output. So it does have those settings available. And for MIDI, I'm not attached to a third-party software right now, but just so you know, What's in here is these are the settings: momentary, latching. You can do custom settings in here. And if you are, this is definitely an advanced feature. So if you are someone who uses a platform like Ecamm or OBS right now to do your streams, then this is available to you, which is very exciting for this little device to have this. Now, if you have no idea what MIDI is, it just means that if you ever want to stream using a third-party software, then this device has that capability. So that's really nice. Now, in my overview video, I did go over presentation mode. I'm just back on the main dashboard now. So let's go ahead and go back into customize smart pads. We do want to be placed in transfer mode. And presentation mode, in addition to this device automatically saving the settings so I don't ever have to worry about it, presentation mode I think is a game changer for a lot of people who are doing live streams, who are on conference calls, who are speakers, anybody who is doing anything virtually. This presentation mode is fantastic. So when you place this into presentation mode, this is going to give you the ability to control your slides and whatever talk or whatever course you might be teaching. This is going to give you the option of controlling the slides and controlling what that presentation looks like using the Streamer X. And the reason why that's great is because the buttons are large in size. They're really easy to press and to see and to navigate. So I think this is a great touch that Rode added to the Streamer X. If I click this eye over here, this is going to tell you exactly what you can do if you are in presentation mode. Start your presentation, you can advance all your slides, you can disable or enable your camera, you have full control over that, and then you can also mute or unmute your microphone. Now this presentation mode will work with PowerPoint, Keynote, and Google Slides, whether you are on a Mac or a Windows machine. And I think that's what a majority of people are using for presentations. So presentation mode is fantastic. Now, it's important to point out that when you're in presentation mode, everything that you've set before on your Streamer X is no longer available. So all the buttons and in fact the interface changes when you go into presenter mode. I do cover this in a little more detail in my overview video, which is linked below, but this means that you're just controlling the slides, your audio levels, and whether or not you want your video turned off or on, which if you are presenting, then that's all you should really be focused on and worried about anyway. That's the rundown on everything that you are able to change and update in Rode Central right now to get the most out of your Streamer X. Now, Rode is notorious for putting out firmware updates often. I am anticipating additional firmware updates to come out, and if anything exciting and new comes out, I'll be sure to put a video together. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in next week's video.